Chapter 53. I think that instead of money, you should think about how to save your life. Zhao Hongling fell silent for some time before she gave a constructive suggestion. Lin Yan pondered her suggestion and realized miserably that it made sense. Zhao Hongling's list of male celebrities and Pei Nanxiu alone were enough to attract 80 to 90% of the female fans in the entertainment industry. What would happen then? Just the thought of it was thrilling. She reckoned that she would be torn to shreds. She had also been in the fan circle before, so she knew very well how crazy those girlfriend fans could be when they tore people apart. Not to mention her girlfriend fans, even she wanted to tear herself apart. Actually, Lin Yan had understood everything now. Back then, Lin Xia had deliberately planned everything. She had deliberately created so many scandals so that when she found out about Lin Xia and Han Yishuan's relationship, no one would believe that she was Han Yishuan's girlfriend even if she told the truth because of her poor reputation. Now, she had merely gotten a supporting role, yet Lin Xia wouldn't allow it. How dare she use Pei Nanxiu to kill her? Where are you staying now? Asked Zhao Hongling. I just moved today. It's a new address, so no one will know, replied Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling nodded. That's good. Be careful when you go out. The scandal between you and Pei Nanxiu has been out for less than an hour, and you have already received 30,000 insults on Weibo. Shen Xiaomu, Wei Shufeng, Tang Jiaya, and Han Yishuan's fans will be involved soon. You have to be mentally prepared. Lin Yan scowled miserably. Okay. I will be careful. She would be in a similar situation if she was surrounded by zombies. Actually, even without Zhao Hongling's reminder, she had already guessed it. She remembered that the last celebrity who had shamelessly created a scandal with Pei Nanxiu had been viciously attacked by Pei Nanxiu's fans. Even now, people were still scolding her on Weibo every day. She had offended the entire entertainment industry this time. Zhao Hongling replied solemnly, I've already spoken to Pei Nanxiu's agency about you and him. We will release a statement to say that it was a coincidence. However, this statement won't be effective. It won't be able to appease the fans. Especially now that you are in the same production crew as Pei Nanxiu. Everyone is watching you and waiting for you to make a mistake. Zhao Hongling said sternly, so I have to remind you that after you enter the set, you have to keep your distance from Pei Nanxiu. Don't go within 10 steps of him. It wasn't easy to get a chance to put on an act with the Prince Charming, but he still had to hide 8 feet away. Was there anything worse than this in this world? For the sake of her idol's innocence, she had no choice but to nod her head. Don't worry. I will hide as far as I can. Zhao Hongling was still a little worried as she instructed, it's not just Pei Nanxiu. You have to keep a distance from all the other male celebrities. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. What kind of sin did she commit to become enemies with all the female fans in the entertainment industry? Chapter 54. Currently typing, please wait a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 55. Other than that, Lin Yan had made a long list of all sorts of things. The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth twitched. What are you doing? Are you dancing at home? Lin Yan glared at him. Nonsense. Do I look like someone who believes in superstitions? I have always believed in science. Oh yeah, remember to buy a few pounds of garlic. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Hurry up. These are props that I need for filming. I need them urgently. Lin Yan urged him. Where am I going to buy these broken things for you? Wang Jingyang had no choice but to go out and buy them for her. After Wang Jingyang left, Lin Yan took out the books on acting and drama and continued to read. Previously, she had been misled by Lin Xia and Han Yishuan. She had been too focused on popularity and had neglected the fundamentals of acting and capability. If she had been capable, she wouldn't have been in such a mess today. The heat generated by the flow of nothingness was too easy to dissipate. Fortunately, she was a fast learner and had digested most of the theoretical knowledge. All she needed was some practical training. It was impossible to master all the roles in a short period of time. However, if she focused on one role, it shouldn't be a problem. Hence, all she had to do was wait for Pei Yutong's video. At Cloud Manor, Pei Yutong remembered his mission. In order to help Lin Yan obtain the video, he had shamelessly stayed over at Pei Yucheng's place. From last night until now, he had secretly filmed quite a few scenes. However, he still felt that it wasn't enough. After all, this was the first time he was helping Sister Yen. He had to do a good job. Pei Yutong carefully pushed open the door of the study. Pei Yucheng had just finished an international video conference and was taking a nap. Perhaps he was a little tired. The man took off his suit jacket and only wore a white shirt inside. His tie was loosened and hung there casually. 2 buttons on his collar were undone, and the gold-rimmed glasses on the bridge of his nose shone with a slightly cold luster. Pei Yutong couldn't help but click his tongue. How could Sister Yen say that she wasn't tempted by such a beauty? Pei Yutong cursed inwardly as he whipped out his phone. He tapped on the recording mode and hurriedly started recording. To get a clearer shot, Pei Yutong inched closer. Just as he was 3 steps away from the desk, his eyes flew open behind his glasses. Pei Yutong was scared out of his wits. He hurriedly hid his cell phone behind his back. "Big brother, you're awake?" Pei Yucheng asked. "What is it?" Pei Yutong laughed dryly. "Big brother, I'm just here to show my concern. The weather is too hot and you're sweating. Why don't you take off your clothes?" Since last night, Pei Yutong had been circling around him. He was just short of writing the words "I have an ulterior motive" on his face. Pei Yucheng glanced at him impassively. "There's no need." Pei Yutong panicked. "Are you sure you don't need to change? How unbearable. Why don't I go get a clean one for you?" Pei Yucheng asked. "Pei Yutong, are you free?" Pei Yutong shrunk his neck when he sensed a piercing glare. "Ahem. I'll get lost." After he walked out of the study, he scratched his head in disappointment. What should he do? Pei Yutong's eyes lit up as he thought of something. Yes. Big brother had the habit of swimming every afternoon. Now, all he had to do was wait by the pool and take photos. He was so smart. Chapter 56. Pei Yutong scurried to the edge of the pool to find the best angle. After waiting for some time, he saw his brother. Pei Yucheng was holding onto a towel and changing into a pair of swimming trunks. Because he had been working out for a long time, he had managed his body well. Even a man couldn't help but sigh at his perfect figure. Pei Yucheng tossed the towel on the chair beside him and jumped into the water. Pei Yutong finished recording the entire scene happily. Ha 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 ha. With this, he would definitely complete the task that Sister Yen had assigned to him. Then, he would be able to defeat Song Yaonan and win all the championships. He would reach the pinnacle of his life. Pei Yucheng got out of the pool and wiped his hair with the towel. Then, he glanced at Pei Yutong. Pei Yutong was immersed in his fantasies when a shadow suddenly appeared above his head. The young man saw Pei Yucheng standing in front of him, who had changed his clothes. "Big brother." Pei Yutong was so frightened that he fell into the bushes and hid his phone behind him. "Big brother, I didn't take a picture of you. I just thought that the view here was good." "Yes, I wanted to take a picture of the scenery." Pei Yucheng narrowed his eyes. "You took a picture?" Pei Yutong was speechless. F***ck. Big brother hadn't seen what he had been doing. In the end, he had confessed. Pei Yucheng glanced at the youngster casually, but the coldness in his eyes made one's scalp go numb. "Pei Yutong, it seems like you really want to come back and inherit the family business." Pei Yutong was scared out of his wits. No. I don't want to." The competition was still waiting for him to conquer it. His dream was still waiting for him to realize it. He didn't want to go back to the company. Hence, Pei Yutong quickly betrayed Lin Yan. "No. I didn't want to take a picture of you. Big brother, it was Lin Yan. She asked me to help her get a video of you. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Pei Yutong hastily replied, it's true. She asked me to do that. Big brother, believe me. I felt that this kind of behavior was too perverted, so I firmly rejected her at that time. However, she did me a favor that day, so I owed her a favor, so I had no choice but to agree. Pei Yuqing raised his eyebrows. Really? Pei Yutong gulped. Of course. Absolutely true. Brother, please don't be angry. Don't bring me back. I'll delete all the videos now. Hold on. Pei Yutong had just whipped out his phone when Pei Yuqing interrupted him. Brother, do you have any other instructions? Pei Yutong asked cautiously. Pei Yuqing extended his hand. Pei Yutong immediately understood and handed the phone over respectfully. Pei Yuqing clicked on the photo album on his phone and scrolled through the videos that Pei Yutong had secretly taken. They were all videos of his daily activities, and when he had been swimming, Pei Yutong's angle was not bad, and he had a good grasp of the lighting and shadows. Pei Yutong shuddered. Brother. Under Pei Yutong's fearful gaze, Pei Yuqing said, it's not bad. Pei Yutong heaved a long sigh of relief and hurriedly sucked up to him. That's because Big Brother looks handsome no matter how you take it. Pei Yuqing replied, keep it. Chapter 57. Pei Yuqing quipped, you owe Lin Yan a favor, yes. Yes. Pei Yutong replied meekly. In that case, keep it. Pei Yuqing tossed the phone back to him. Pei Yutong was in disbelief. His brother was actually willing to sacrifice himself in order to help him repay the debt. Pei Yutong was overcome with emotion as he lunged forward. Big brother. You still love me. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Had he misunderstood something? Pei Yutong left happily after he finished speaking. Pei Yuqing returned to the living room and opened the fridge to take out a bottle of water. Suddenly, a familiar sense of dizziness overwhelmed him. The bottle of water in his hand fell to the ground. His consciousness seemed to be swallowed by a huge abyss as he sank into the darkness. Pei Yuqing struggled to hold on to his last shred of consciousness as he staggered to the couch opposite him. The moment he sat down, his body collapsed and he fell into a deep slumber. At Maple River Residences, Wang Jingyang had been shopping for the whole afternoon. Finally, he came back with bags of various sizes. Lin Yan, I bought the things you wanted. Take a look at them yourself, that's great. Lin Yan put down her book and scurried over to the table. She opened the bag and saw that Wang Jingyang had bought quite a lot of things. He basically had everything on her list. Lin Yan hugged the items as though they were treasures and examined them one by one. She wondered which one would be useful. Forget it. She might as well use all of them. Lin Yan swiftly began to arrange everything. She hung the peachwood sword and the 8 trigrams mirror. She pasted talismans all over the house and strung the garlic around her neck. Wang Jingyang watched from the side, confused. The role you're playing this time is a charlatan? Lin Yan didn't reply. Instead, she fished out a yellow talisman and passed it to Wang Jingyang. Doggy, come here and help me stick this on my forehead. It's right in the middle. Wang Jingyang asked, are you serious? Lin Yan replied, very serious. Hurry up. Wang Jingyang sighed helplessly as he took the yellow talisman. I really have to give it to you. Come on. Lin Yan shut her eyes and gestured to her head. Wang Jingyang, heh, other girls would close their eyes and keep their mouths shut in front of him, but she, on the other hand, made him do this kind of thing. Wang Jingyang tore open the double-sided tape on the back of the yellow paper. He found an angle and aimed it at Lin Yan's head. Just as Wang Jingyang's hand was about to touch Lin Yan, the girl raised her fair, delicate hand and grabbed his wrist. Ah, a wave of pain came from his wrist, and Wang Jingyang immediately wailed, F***ck. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Let go. Let go. Lin Yen. What are you doing? The girl slowly opened her eyes, revealing a pair of eyes that seemed to be stained with ice. The girl's gaze fell on Wang Jingyang's face and her pupils shrank. Then, her gaze followed Wang Jingyang's hand and landed on the yellow paper in his hand. On the coarse yellow paper, there were words written with a red pen that looked like worms that couldn't be read. Then, she scanned the room with her cool gaze. She saw the peachwood sword hanging by the bedside, the 8 trigrams mirror hanging by the door frame, the talisman paper pasted all over the room, and the heavy string of garlic hanging around her neck. The corners of the girl's mouth twitched slightly. Then, she took a deep breath and pinched the space between her eyebrows. She had really overestimated her intelligence. Chapter 58. When Pei Yucheng woke up, he realized that his consciousness had entered Lin Yan's body once again. Then, he saw a room full of strange things. Pei Yucheng's emotions were indescribable when he realized what that girl had mistaken him for. Wang Jingyang clutched his wrist and complained, "Hey, Lin Yan. Didn't you ask me to stick this on you? What do you want now?" Pei Yucheng glanced at him coldly. "Do you have a cigarette?" Wang Jingyang was taken aback by the sudden change in his gaze. He asked suspiciously, "Cigarette? When did you start smoking?" Pei Yucheng didn't reply. He strode to the desk and sat down. He flipped through the books on the table. Wang Jingyang handed her a cigarette and said, "Girls shouldn't smoke." She took it from him. Instinctively, Wang Jingyang leaned over and lit it for her. Wang Jingyang saw that the girl held the cigarette between her fingers. She seemed to be very experienced in this. Pei Yucheng didn't smoke the cigarette. Instead, he placed it in his hand and let it burn quietly. He seemed to be using this method to relieve stress and think. Are you alright? Wang Jingyang felt that Lin Yan was behaving strangely, so he didn't dare speak. Could it be that he had gone berserk from his acting practice? "You can leave now." "Alright then. Call me if you need anything, hold on." Wang Jingyang was about to leave when he was stopped again. The girl pointed at the messy things in the room. "Take these things away." Wang Jingyang was about to break down. F***CK. This can't be. Are you kidding me? I spent so much effort to buy them, and you don't want them anymore? Pei Yucheng glanced at him coldly. It's a woman's right to be capricious and capricious. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Alright, he couldn't retort. After Wang Jingyang left, Pei Yucheng caught a glimpse of a piece of paper pasted on the mirror. Lin Yan's handwriting was on the paper. She had used a red pen to write a few lines of words. Pei Yucheng tore the piece of paper and read the words written on it. "I don't know what kind of monster you are. However, if you want to control my body again, you have to abide by the following rules. Otherwise, I will take you down with me." Drew a kitchen knife. First, he was not allowed to come within 10 steps of Pei Nanshu. Second, do not come within 10 steps of Shen Xiaomu. Thirdly, you are not allowed to come within 10 steps of Wei Shufeng. Number 4, do not come within 10 steps of Tang Jiaye. Number 5, do not come within 10 steps of Han Yishuan. She was not allowed to come within 10 steps of Pei Yucheng. Don't come within 10 steps of him. Don't come within 10 steps of him. Lin Yan felt as though her consciousness had been tossed into a bowl of wonton. She didn't know how much time had passed before she slowly woke up from the darkness. And when she woke up, she found her body was sitting in front of the desk, one hand holding the warning she had written before, the other hand holding a half-burnt cigarette. She was horrified to find that her body was being controlled again. So many things were thrown at her at the same time, but that guy was not afraid at all. He even took control of her body at this time. Why you, it's you again. Aren't you afraid of these things? This is not scientific. Chapter 59. Pei Yucheng chuckled softly when he heard the voice in his head. On the contrary. Lin Yen was speechless. This fellow could actually talk to her. What did he mean by on the contrary? Wasn't it scientific? Now that she thought about it, it didn't seem right. Those things were indeed unscientific. She was actually trying to save a dead horse. Lin Yen looked at her face in the mirror and felt like she was about to break down. Boss, what do you want? Also, how can you use my body to smoke? Can you let the child go? I'm not smoking. I can't even light it. Wouldn't my body be exposed to secondhand smoke? Sorry, I'm used to it, Pei Yuqing said as he snuffed out his cigarette. Lin Yen was surprised. This fellow was actually quite reasonable. Since those methods didn't work, perhaps she could discuss it with him. At this thought, Lin Yen said tentatively, You must have read my message. Is there anything you want to say? Pei Yuqing replied, I read it. What's your reason? Lin Yen was infuriated at the mention of this. How dare you ask me for my reason? It's all your fault for causing all this trouble. Now, there are rumors about me and Pei Nanshu all over the internet. Oh yeah, there's also that production crew. That production crew is simply hell. All the supporting actors are actors who have been involved in scandals with me. Every single one of them has enough fans to kill me. Now, I've become the #1 female fan in the entertainment industry. Lin Yen complained angrily. Pei Yuqing asked, So? Lin Yen replied, In order for me to survive in that production crew, you have to keep a distance from the people I listed if you control me during filming. Pei Yuqing nodded. That's a good idea. Lin Yen felt that this fellow's tone was strange. Why did he sound so happy? So you mean, you agree to these conditions? Lin Yen probed. Pei Yuqing paused as his eyes landed on the last line. The first 5 conditions are fine. What about the 6th one? How dare you ask me for a reason? Lin Yen repeated herself angrily. Have you forgotten what you've done to President Pei? Have you forgotten all the heartless things you've done to him? Theoretically speaking, those things were all done by you. Shut up. If it's not my subjective will, then it has nothing to do with me. You're the one who controlled me. You mean you don't have any ulterior motives? Of course. Was there even a need to ask? Do you think I'm as perverted as you? Lin Yen blurted out. Just as she finished speaking, the phone on her desk suddenly rang. Lin Yen was worried that Zhao Hongling had sent an important message. Hence, she hurriedly said, Hurry up and open it for me. I want to know who it is. Lin Yan's phone was unlocked with her fingerprint. Pei Yuqing picked it up and unlocked it. Then, he clicked on the message that she had just received. The message was a video. The background of the video was the pool of a luxurious villa. Soon, a man walked over to the pool in a pair of swimming trunks. He had broad shoulders, narrow hips, and long legs. It was Pei Yuqing. Lin Yen had never imagined that she would be greeted by such an exciting scene. If she had been in her own body, she would have thrown her phone out. Lin Yen replied, F***CK. Who the F***CK sent this to me? Pei Yuqing chuckled softly. No ulterior motives? Lin Yen replied, I'm not. I'm innocent. Chapter 60. Lin Yen had just spoken when the other party sent another message. This car isn't going to kindergarten, typed, Sister Yen, I've done as you requested. Please accept it. Lin Yen was speechless. Lin Yen recognized him instantly. Wasn't this Pei Yutong? Why did this fellow have to send her a message of all times? No, the point was, what did he mean by doing as she requested? She had merely wanted some videos of Pei Yuqing's daily life. What was wrong with this kid's brain? What kind of misunderstanding did he have? This is a misunderstanding. I have just accepted a role as a domineering female president. I wanted to portray the essence of the role, so I asked Pei Yuqing's brother, Pei Yutong, to help me get some videos of President Pei's daily life. I didn't ask him to send me such a restricted video. Lin Yan gritted her teeth as she explained. Pei Yucheng raised his eyebrows, as though he didn't agree with her. Restricted video? Lin Yan was alarmed when she heard him. This isn't restricted enough? What else do you want? I'm warning you. Don't you dare mess around. You. Lin Yan was about to continue threatening him when her consciousness suddenly weakened. Why do I feel so sleepy all of a sudden? Pei Yucheng replied, it's a waste of energy to talk to me. Go to sleep. How could Lin Yan dare to sleep? She forced herself to say, no. If you take advantage of my absence. Pei Yucheng softened his voice and comforted her. What if I really want to do something? Even if you're awake, can you stop me? Lin Yan was speechless. F***ck. How could this be considered persuasion? A second later, Lin Yan's consciousness sank deeper and deeper. She suspected that her consciousness wasn't in her body, but that she had fainted from anger. After Lin Yan fell into a deep slumber, her phone rang again. This car isn't going to kindergarten, typed, Sister Yan, I've completed the task you gave me. Shall we go racing one day? Don't worry, I know a very secretive race. My brother won't find out. Pei Yucheng was speechless. Pei Yucheng used Lin Yan's phone to reply to her. Lu Shuchun typed, I'm Pei Yucheng. The other end of the line was silent for a few seconds before Pei Yutong, who was dumbfounded, replied. This is not going to kindergarten, what? Big brother? You're with Sister Yan? Why do you have Sister Yan's phone? Where's Sister Yan? South Street Green Tree Spring Rao Su, sleeping. This is not going to kindergarten. Sleep. Then, Pei Yutong sent a series of messages. This is not going to kindergarten, big brother, I was wrong. This is not going to kindergarten, big brother, please forgive me. This car is not going to kindergarten, big brother, I just want to take sister-in-law for a ride. The kind that can go 30 miles per hour. This car isn't going to kindergarten, big brother, I wish you and sister-in-law a long, blissful life together, and have a son soon. Big brother, in my heart, you and sister-in-law are a match made in heaven. They were definitely soul mates. I will never stop you from being with sister-in-law. From now on, my sister-in-law is my sister-in-law. This car isn't going to kindergarten, big brother, I won't disturb you anymore. You guys can continue to sleep. Chapter 61. When Lin Yan woke up, she realized that she was in a taxi. Her body was still in a controlled state. Where are you taking me? Lin Yan was jolted awake. In the next second, the taxi stopped in front of a villa. Where is this? What are you doing? This. Why does this place look so familiar? F***ck. Isn't this President Pei's house? Hey. That's too much. Why are you always seducing a sheep? Can't you change to someone else? After a long time, the man finally replied, who do you want to change to? Lin Yan choked. I was just saying. I don't want to seduce anyone. Lin Yan hastily added, I've already seen it clearly. All the scumbags are good-looking. In this world, the more good-looking they are, the more poisonous they are. No matter how independent you are, how strong you are, or how amazing you are, once you are obsessed with beauty, everything will be over. I advise you to put down the butcher's knife and repent. Isn't it good for the two of us to earn money happily together? The sea of bitterness is boundless. Repent and the shore is at hand. As Lin Yan nagged and tried to brainwash the man, her body had been controlled by the man. She unlocked Pei Yucheng's door and strode into the living room. How could this guy know the password to Pei Yucheng's house? How many shameful things had he done behind her back? Lin Yan's eyes darted to the sofa in the middle of the living room. Behind the sofa was a floor-to-ceiling window, and behind the window was a huge pool that shimmered under the sunlight. Pei Yucheng's eyes were closed as he lay quietly on the sofa, fast asleep. He seemed to have just finished swimming, as he was only wearing a loose bathrobe. His chest and abdomen were exposed, revealing his abs. The mottled light shone on his body, making him look as though he was sleeping at the bottom of the sea. The impact of seeing him in person was 1,000 times stronger than seeing him in a video. Lin Yan suddenly felt as though everything had happened in the past. The world was worth it. Pei Yucheng asked, "Do you want to turn back?" Lin Yan replied, "Wait. Don't. Let me take another look." Pei Yucheng was speechless. When she realized what she had said, she broke down. "You can't blame me. Who can withstand this?" "Heh," Lin Yan heard a soft chuckle that belonged to that fellow. Then, her body slumped to the ground. A second later, Lin Yan sensed that she had regained control of her body. She's back. However, as she had just returned to her body, she couldn't react in time. Her body continued to fall due to inertia and landed on. Pei Yucheng, why? Why did he always have to come back at this time? Why was she always the one getting hurt? Lin Yan's heart was overwhelmed with grief. She mustered all her willpower to get rid of the distractions of his beauty and scrambled to her feet. At that moment, she only had one thought in her mind. She had to run away before Pei Yucheng woke up. Lin Yan scrambled to her feet and was about to run when she felt a strong force around her waist. Her body suddenly went back to lying on the ground. Lin Yan pounced on the man's chest and knocked her forehead against his chin. A second later, Lin Yan's body froze. She felt something soft and cool on her forehead. A feather-like kiss landed lightly on her forehead. The man's low, husky, and cold voice sounded beside her ear with a bewitching magnetism. "Good afternoon, Miss Lin." Chapter 62. Currently typing, please wait a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 63. Currently typing, please wait a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 64. How could he accept it? How could he accept it? Shouldn't he have rejected her? Wasn't he supposed to reject her? "Boss, why didn't you follow the rules?" Cough. Lin Yan, who was scared out of her wits, coughed violently. President Pei. Did I hear wrongly? You said that you agreed to date me? Pei Yucheng, who noticed her coughing, extended his hand and stroked her back gently. You didn't hear wrongly. 35XS. Lin Yan's brain had exploded, and she had lost her ability to think. The man's sudden approach made her even more confused. Instinctively, Lin Yan wanted to move away from Pei Yucheng, but her affectionate persona didn't allow her to do so. Her desire to live made her stiffen as she continued to kneel beside the couch. Flashing Dance, the culprit of all this, however, was holding back a smile as he sat there calmly and looked at her. "Miss Lin, what's wrong?" Lin Yan stared at Pei Yucheng in a daze and blurted out unconsciously, "President Pei, is there something wrong with your eyesight?" Pei Yucheng was speechless. Lin Yan hurriedly tried to persuade him. Ahem. I mean, actually, men have to protect themselves when they're outside. Girls nowadays are in danger. I think you should reconsider. She had never imagined that Pei Yucheng would be so innocent when it came to relationships. Wasn't he too easy to woo? Pei Yucheng's fingers paused as he stroked the girl's hair, as though he was deep in thought. Then, he replied, "Indeed." 35XS. Lin Yan replied, "Right? Right? Why don't you consider it carefully?" Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl. "Miss Lin, are you hinting to me that it's safer to get married?" Lin Yan was speechless. Why would he have such a terrifying thought? Lin Yan shook her head violently. No. I didn't mean that. I don't want to marry you at all. No, I mean, I don't want to get married. I have no intention of getting married. Lin Yan tried to explain herself incoherently, trying to make herself look less like a jerk. However, Pei Yucheng didn't look unhappy at all when he heard her. His eyes, which were as deep as the night sky, glinted with a glint that she couldn't understand. You can choose not to get married, replied Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan was dumbfounded. Is that even possible? But, thinking about it, it was understandable. Perhaps Pei Yucheng had only agreed to date her for a few days because she was a novelty to him. How could he have thought about marriage for so long? Perhaps she was making too much of a fuss. Isn't it normal for some rich people to change girlfriends every other day? Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief. But very quickly, she wailed in her heart again. Why? How did things develop to such a stage? She was just trying to suck up to him. Why did she get herself involved? Miss Lin, what do you mean? Pei Yucheng gazed at her, waiting for her reply. Lin Yan was speechless. What she meant. What else could she mean? First, she shamelessly slept with him. Then, she ran to the hospital to ambush him. Now, she even chased him to his home and confessed to him. Could she say no, that she didn't want to date him, that she was just a perverted stalker? Lin Yan felt as though her heart was boiling. I mean, I'm really, really happy. Chapter 65. For the rest of my life, with you, sweet and warm. Chapter 65. Steady, don't let your persona collapse. Currently typing, please wait a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 66. What should she do? Why did she feel as though she was on the brink of death every day? Lin Yan replied frantically, what's wrong with my phone? It seems to be jammed. Give me a minute. As soon as she finished speaking, she rushed to look for the video that Pei Yutong had sent her earlier. She had just clicked on it when she saw an unfamiliar conversation. Sister Yan, I've completed the task that you gave me. Shall we go racing one day? Don't worry, I know a very secretive venue. My brother won't find out. I'm Pei Yucheng. What? Big brother? You're with Sister Yan now. Why is Sister Yan's phone with you? Where is Sister Yan? She's asleep. Lin Yan almost smashed her phone when she read the message. She had used her phone to send the message, but she hadn't sent it herself. Hence, it was obvious who had done this. What kind of hatred did that pervert have for her? Why would he do this to her? However, Lin Yan's life was hanging by a thread, so she had no time to be bothered by this. She clicked on one of the videos that Pei Yutong had sent her. Previously, Pei Yutong had sent her many videos, but she had only seen the last one, which was the most explosive. The first few videos were normal. They were videos of Pei Yucheng's daily life and work. Each one of them was comparable to a fashion blockbuster. She could use any one of them as a desktop. Lin Yan swiftly took a picture of a man standing in front of a floor-to-ceiling window under the setting sun and set it as his profile picture. Following that, she quickly searched through her vocabulary and decisively changed her original nickname to Misty City amid the setting sun. Lin Yan completed this series of actions in a few seconds. Then, she clicked on her QR code. All right. You can add me now. Pei Yucheng, who didn't seem to notice anything, raised his phone and added her account. Lin Yan held her breath as she watched Pei Yucheng's reaction. Pei Yucheng had naturally seen Lin Yan's nickname and profile picture. He could recognize his back and the words Misty City amid the setting sun. She had managed to achieve this in a few seconds. It seemed like he should reevaluate her intelligence. The man still had that careless expression, but the corner of his mouth unnoticeably curled up. Soon, Lin Yan accepted his friend request and both of them appeared on each other's friend list. Pei Yucheng didn't seem to use WeChat much. His ID and profile picture were very official. His ID was his name, and his profile picture was JM Corporation's logo. After everything was settled, Lin Yan heaved a long sigh of relief. She stole a glance at him and coughed softly. I don't have a photo of you. So third young master took this one for me. She looked like a little woman who was deeply in love and unable to extricate herself. Lin Yan couldn't help but give herself a thumbs up. She had almost believed herself after this series of actions. It was really not easy for her to keep her life. Chapter 67. Now that he had given her his phone number and WeChat ID, shouldn't he let her go? Lin Yan had a pitiful expression on her face that said, "If there's nothing else, I can leave now." Pei Yuqing glanced at the time on his phone and said, "I have a meeting later. I might not be able to accompany you." That was great. Lin Yan raised her head like a sunflower when she heard him. She was elated, but she looked regretful, reluctant, and considerate. "Don't worry about me. Just focus on your work. You don't have to worry about me. I might be busy preparing for a new show. In that case, I'll leave first. I won't disturb you anymore." Pei Yuqing replied, "Hold on." Lin Yan was speechless. Wait again? She didn't want to wait. Who knew what would happen if she waited? She had just said a few words and they had started dating. If she said a few more words, wouldn't she have to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get married? Lin Yan had no choice but to stiffen and remain motionless. The man got up from the sofa, bent down beside her, and put his slender fingers on her calf. Lin Yan was speechless. When the man's fingers touched her calf, she shuddered, even though there was a layer of cloth between them. What was going on? Suddenly, she heard the man's cold and teasing voice. "Aren't your legs numb?" Lin Yan suddenly realized that she had been kneeling for too long. Her legs were really numb, and any slight movement would cause her heart to ache. She hadn't realized it herself, but Pei Yuqing had. As the man spoke, he slightly rolled up his sleeves and bent one knee. He half knelt beside her and began to gently massage her calf. Pei Yuqing's strength was moderate. Although there was some numbness at first, the pain subsided quickly. Who was Pei Yuqing? He was the kind of person that she would only see on television and in financial magazines. He was a person who was dozens of galaxies away from Pei Nanshu. Such a person, at this moment, was bending his waist, half kneeling in front of her. He was handsome, rich, gentle, and considerate. What kind of boyfriend was this? At a certain moment, she actually had a terrifying impulse that she would be willing to go bankrupt for the person in front of her. Lin Yan shook her head frantically and snapped back to her senses. Ahem. Thank you. Thank you. The thought of going bankrupt had alarmed Lin Yan. She hastily bade him goodbye and left as though her butt was on fire. Then, "I'll make a move first," she bade him farewell and left. After the girl left, Pei Yuqing strode into the bedroom and removed his pajamas. He put on a white shirt and buttoned it casually. Then, the man sat on the chair by the window and lit a cigarette. A thin layer of smoke lingered, and the man's eyes were as deep as the bottomless sea. The man didn't move for a long time, as if he was lost in thought. He didn't even notice that the cigarette in his hand had burned out. After some time, the man stubbed out the cigarette, opened the first drawer in the cabinet, and took out 2 red books. The words, "Marriage Certificate," were written on the red cover. She gently flipped it open. In the photo attached to the certificate, the man's usually cold face had a rare gentle smile, while the girl beside him had eyes like stars and a smile like a flower. Chapter 68. After she got home, Lin Yan took a shower and rested for a while. It had been a tough day. She lay on the bed and scrolled through her phone, trying to calm herself down. Not long after, his phone suddenly rang. Lin Yan glanced at the screen and answered the call. "Hello, Mom. Xiaoyan, are you free tonight? Your grandfather wants us to go back for dinner." Lin Yan's mother's voice came through the phone. "Grandfather wants us to go back for dinner." Lin Yan was slightly taken aback when she heard this. However, she still replied, "Okay, Mom. I'll look for you in a minute." After hanging up, Lin Yan scrambled out of bed. Ever since her mother and father had separated, she had been hated by her mother's family. It was only in recent years that their relationship had improved. Naturally, Lin Yan knew the reason. After her father, Lin Yuetong, had married her mother, He Muyun, he had relied on her grandfather's support and resources to become rich. He had thus won her grandfather's trust. However, Lin Yuetong had done something to steal all her grandfather's resources. He had even taken over her grandfather's most profitable film company. After her grandfather's capital chain had been broken, all his businesses had fallen into a slump. After a few years, her grandfather's company had declared bankruptcy. Now, there was only a small, run-down team under her grandfather's name. This was the only thing that her grandfather hadn't given up on. The He family had made their fortune through racing. Her grandfather had made his first bucket of gold through racing before he had entered the business world and film industry. However, everyone knew that racing was the most expensive profession. After her grandfather's capital chain had been broken, he had fallen from the largest racing team to the lowest level. So much so that the higher-ups who had left under his grandfather in the past were now firmly stepping on his grandfather's head. Lin Yan sighed heavily. It hadn't been easy for her grandfather all these years. She had no idea how much effort he had put in. Lin Yan's mother's family had hated them. If it hadn't been for Lin Yuetong, they wouldn't have ended up in this state. Her mother had been feeling guilty all these years. However, in recent years, her grandfather had seemed to have gotten over it. He had gradually reconnected with her mother, but he had never asked her to come back for dinner. When Lin Yan had chosen to enter the racing industry, her grandfather had more or less played a part in it. She remembered that her grandfather's house was filled with books and videos about racing. Lin Yan had read them since she was young. However, her grandfather's family and even her mother didn't know that she was racing abroad. Initially, Lin Yan had wanted to win the trophy and present it to her grandfather. She hoped that he wouldn't blame her mother. It was a pity that, during that competition, she had gotten into a serious car accident. It could be said that the heavens had blessed her, so she did not die on the spot. However, the injury on her leg had not fully healed until today. Now that Lin Yan had been banned from competing, there was nothing more to say. Not long after she was banned from the competition, her younger sister, Lin Shuya, had returned to her father, Lin Yuetong, with the excuse that her father had been alone for so many years. Lin Yuetong's father had mercilessly abandoned the three of them. Now that Lin Shuya had graduated from a prestigious university and was talented, Lin Yuetong decided to bring her back. Back then, she had quarreled with Lin Shuya over this matter. Now that she thought about it, she found it laughable. His sister's heart was no longer with this family. Chapter 69. Lin Yan was lost in her thoughts as she sat in the cab. When she reached her destination, Lin Yan picked up the things she had bought for her mother and got out of the car. "Mom." Lin Yan knocked on the door. Soon, the door swung open, and Lin Yan saw a beautiful, graceful woman. She could tell that the woman had weathered the vicissitudes of life, especially He Muyun's hands, which were covered in calluses. Even so, it couldn't hide the woman's beauty and elegance. "Why did you buy so many things again? I can't use them. What a waste." He Muyun frowned as she took the bags from Lin Yan's hands. When she entered the house, she was greeted by a wave of hot air. The old electric fan was whirring loudly. "Mom, it's not a lot of money. I found a job." Lin Yan glanced at He Muyun, feeling a little upset. Her mother had been living in the suburbs, which was far from the city. Actually, Lin Yan had earned a lot of money overseas. Every time she had sent money to her mother would return it. She had wanted to move to a better house for her, but she had refused. She had claimed that it was hard for her to earn money, so she wouldn't accept it. Actually, Lin Yan knew that her mother had a deep knot in her heart. She was using this method to punish herself. You earned your own money even if you found a job. I don't lack anything. I have money. If you need money, just tell me. One of my paintings is worth a lot too. He Muyan gazed at Lin Yan and chuckled softly. Before Lin Yan could respond, He Muyan said, Xiaoyan, sit here for a while. We'll go to the old mansion after I pack up. Okay. Lin Yan nodded obediently. Lin Yan sat on the couch and scanned the room. There were many paintings hanging on the walls. They were well preserved, so there wasn't even a speck of dust on them. These were the works of her mother, He Muyan. Her mother had been good at calligraphy since she was young, especially her paintings, which were lively and lifelike. Although her mother had said that she would be able to sell her paintings and that she wouldn't have to worry about food and drinks, Lin Yan knew that no one would buy her paintings. Not a single one had been sold. There was a pile of waste paper and bottles of mineral water at the foot of the couch. Lin Yan's eyes felt a little bitter as she glanced at He Muyan, who was still busy. All these years, her mother's health wasn't very good, and she didn't have a job. Before, Wang Jingyang told her that he saw her mother picking up mineral water bottles to sell at the waste collection station. Mom, I rented a house. It's an apartment. Come back to my apartment with me. This place is too far away and inconvenient. Lin Yan told He Muyan. He Muyan smiled and shook her head. The apartment isn't big enough for one person. It's enough. It's more than enough for us. Lin Yan replied anxiously. No, I'm fine here. It's quiet and quiet. Besides, I'm used to it. Just come back to see me often, He Muyan said without turning her head. Lin Yan knew her mother very well. If her mother refused to move, no matter what she said, she wouldn't let her stay with her. Lin Yan knew that it wasn't that her mother didn't want to move to a better living environment. She simply didn't want to be a burden to her children. Thinking of her mother, she was also a standard daughter of a wealthy family and had been pampered since she was young. But now, she had fallen to such a state. Chapter 70. Xiaoyan, let's go. Don't be late. Your grandfather doesn't like it when people are late. He Muyan tidied up before she called out to Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded and stood up. She held He Muyan's arm as they walked out of the room. Her mother's house was rather far away, so it took them almost an hour to reach it. Lin Yan's thoughts raced as she gazed at the old mansion. Her childhood had been inseparable from this place. It was filled with so many memories. Lin Yan still remembered that there had been an old race car in the old mansion. It had been her grandfather's favorite and most precious collection. However, he had been forced to sell it because of a lack of funds. Soon, Lin Yan and her mother walked into the living room. Aunt, you're here. A young man in his 20s greeted He Muyan. Xiaofeng. He Muyan smiled at the boy. The shy boy was He Lifeng, the only son of Lin Yan's second uncle. Her grandfather had 4 children, 3 sons and 1 daughter. Lin Yan's mother, He Muyan, was the 3rd child. However, Lin Yan's 4th uncle had passed away 2 years ago. She had been close to her 4th uncle, who had taught her many racing techniques. After she had returned to the country, she had stayed at her 4th uncle's house. If it hadn't been for her 4th uncle, she wouldn't have tolerated Wang Xiaohui and her mother. A middle-aged man strode out of the room and scanned the two of them coldly without saying a word. Big brother. He Muyan called out to the middle-aged man cautiously. The middle-aged man's name was He Xiong, and he was Lin Yan's eldest uncle. Because of Lin Yuetong, he hated Lin Yan's family. He often mocked and mocked He Muyan, but He Muyan had never argued with him because she felt guilty. Where's my grandfather? Lin Yan glanced at He Lifeng. Cousin, sister, grandpa and dad are talking about the team in the room. He Lifeng sighed as he replied. Xiaofeng, is there any problem with the team? Lin Yan asked when she noticed He Lifeng's expression. Yeah. A little. He Lifeng nodded solemnly. Sister Yan, the team isn't doing well. We're at the bottom. If we don't win the next race, we might have to disband. Lin Yen fell into deep thought. Racing teams had their own rules and regulations, which were often complicated. However, it was still based on ability. The competition was intense, and it was common for weaker teams to be disbanded. Often, a single race could decide the fate of a team. Lin Yen was about to ask about the situation when her eldest uncle, He Xiong, glared at He Lifeng impatiently. Xiaofeng, why are you telling them this? What do they know? He Lifeng scratched his head awkwardly and fell silent. Big brother, Xiaoyan is just concerned about you. She doesn't mean anything else, He Muyun hurriedly explained. Chapter 71. Lin Yen glanced at He Xiong with a frown. She was about to say something when an old man with a head full of white hair and reading glasses walked out of the room with He Liang. Dad. He Muyun glanced at the old man and greeted him. The old man nodded at He Muyun. The old man sat down at the dining table and scanned everyone. Sit down and eat. I have something to say. Lin Yen and the others took their seats. Dad, is there no room for negotiation? Asked He Xiong. The old man poured himself a glass of wine but didn't speak. Instead, He Liang said, we will be competing with Old Tang's team in 2 weeks. If we lose, our team will be disbanded. No one will continue to invest in a team that is in last place. Old Tang. Dad, isn't he your right-hand man? Why don't you call him and discuss this with him? Asked He Xiong. Big brother, forget it. Old Tang is AB****. He has been trying to destroy our team. He has sent us off the track several times. Why would we talk to him? He Liang sneered coldly. Unless we can beat Old Tang's team. Old Tang's team is not to be trifled with. He has groomed many good racers. Even if we don't count the racers, our hardware can't be compared to his team. He Xiong muttered thoughtfully. As he spoke, there was a knock on the door. He Lifeng rose to open it. Uncle Tang? He Lifeng was surprised to see him. A middle-aged man with a black leather bag walked in. He had combed his hair back and was all smiles. Old master, I'm here to see you. Tang Zhenying, it's my family dinner today. I don't remember inviting you. The old man glanced at the middle-aged man with a stoic expression. Old master, look at what you're saying. I'm not here to freeload your food today. No matter what, I'm also trained by old master. I'm here today to repay your kindness. The middle-aged man said with a smile. What do you mean? The old man asked. Hee, old man, you should know what's going on with your team. The next race is the elimination round, and your opponent is my team. You also know that your chances of winning are 0. Since you're going to be disbanded anyway, why don't you sell it to me? At least you'll have some money in your pocket. What do you think? The middle-aged man laughed. Are you done? The old man clenched his fists. I'm done. What do you think? The middle-aged man asked. Scram, the old man said coldly. Hearing the old man's words, the middle-aged man's expression changed. He laughed coldly and said, I say, old man, I've given you face, but you don't want it. It's your honor that I'm willing to buy that lousy team of yours. When you lose the race, even if your whole family kneels down and begs me, I won't accept it. Now that your whole family is guarding this broken convoy, isn't it already a problem for you to eat and drink? You even treat it as a treasure? Are you going to scram or not? Second Uncle He Liang suddenly stood up and smashed the wine glass in his hand beside the middle-aged man's feet. Chapter 72. Because of Tang Zhenying's arrival, the atmosphere at the dining table became even more stifling. Everyone looked gloomy. Grandpa slowly closed his eyes. His face seemed to have aged a lot in an instant. Second Uncle, He Liang, looked solemn. Tang Zhenying will definitely target us during this competition. We have to be well prepared. He Lifeng chuckled bitterly. Dad, we didn't have much of a chance of winning. Even my navigator left the day before yesterday. We haven't found a replacement yet. It's going to be a problem if we can even participate in the competition. His uncle, He Xiong, suddenly slammed his fist on the table and bellowed, "Look at how our family has fallen. We used to be a top-notch club, but now we can't even retain a navigator. Any random person can bully us. Are you happy now? Are you satisfied?" He Muyan's body swayed as she clenched her fists. Her face was as pale as a sheet. He Liang frowned. "All right, big brother. Stop it. This has nothing to do with Muyan. We were the ones who didn't have the ability to win." At this moment, a young man walked in through the door. When he heard this, he sneered and said, "Second uncle, you're still speaking up for this jinx at this time?" My dad was right. If it weren't for that cruel and unscrupulous family, our He family wouldn't have fallen to this state. The man who had spoken looked slightly older than Lin Yan and He Lifeng. He was He Mingkai, the son of Uncle He Xiong. Lin Yan glared at He Mingkai coldly. "If we are jinx, then what are you and your father? Are you good-for-nothings who can only be at the bottom?" Lin Yuetong was indeed the fuse that led to the downfall of the He family. However, his mother was the biggest victim. As brother Zhang, He Xiong had never comforted his sister when she was bullied, let alone protected or cared for her. All he had ever done was mock and blame her. He Mingkai exploded when he heard her. F***ck. Lin Yan, what did you say? I dare you to say that again. How dare you call me a good-for-nothing? I think you're the one who is losing money. TSK. Why don't you follow your younger sister and look for your father? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Lin Yuetong is a shrewd businessman. Why would he want a useless? Enough. All of you, shut up. Everyone fell silent when the old master reprimanded them. With that, the old man stood up, left the dining table without a word, and walked into the study. He Mingkai pursed his lips awkwardly and glared at Lin Yan. Lass, I think you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you know how expensive racing is? If you don't have the money, how can you compete? Do you know anything about racing? Don't you even know how to fix wheels? How dare you spout such nonsense here? First Uncle He Xiong snorted coldly. Mingkai, don't argue with her. She won't understand. All these years, Lin Yan had been afraid that her mother would worry about her, so she hadn't told anyone about her real occupation. Lin Shuya was the only one who knew that she was a racer. Lin Yan didn't respond. Instead, she glanced at the father and son expressionlessly. Chapter 73. Xiaoyan, I'm going to see your grandfather. He Muyan's eyes were red as she strode to the study. Second uncle sighed and left as well, leaving Lin Yan and He Lifeng alone in the living room. Lin Yan called He Lifeng aside. Xiaofeng, I have something to tell you, He Lifeng hurriedly comforted her. Sister, don't take what Brother Ming said to heart. It's okay, I know, replied Lin Yan. Lin Yan replied, that's not why I wanted to talk to you. I heard you say that your navigator has left. Rallying consisted of a team, and each team consisted of a racer and a navigator. The navigator was also known as the racer's eyes. During the race, he would sit in the front passenger seat and report the situation to the racer. Many people misunderstood the role of a navigator. They thought that a navigator was just there to read the racer's newspaper. In fact, an experienced navigator could accurately grasp the angle, length, potential dangers, wind speed, and temperature of the road. From there, he could tell the racer the most suitable speed and gear. That way, the racer could skip the time needed to judge the situation and speed up as much as possible. It could be said that a good navigator was equivalent to the brain of a rallying race. He Lifeng was a little embarrassed. He scratched his head in embarrassment. Yeah, he ran away, to a racer, having a navigator run away was as embarrassing as losing his wife. He Lifeng replied helplessly, "It's all my fault. Do you have a suitable candidate now?" asked Lin Yan. He Lifeng shook his head. Many navigators are just trying to make a living. It's not easy to find a professional navigator. Besides, we've completely fallen out with Tang Jining this time. He will definitely make things difficult for us. Lin Yan nodded and said, "If you still can't find a suitable candidate, I can be your navigator." He Lifeng was taken aback. He Lifeng couldn't be blamed for his shock. As far as he could remember, Lin Yan had never raced before. Thus, he hadn't expected that she would suddenly offer to be his navigator. He Lifeng chuckled and replied, "Cousin, I know you want to help me, but you don't know much about racing. A navigator isn't someone who only needs to read newspapers to the racer. A navigator needs to know all the information about the road, the weather, and the condition of the car. He needs to be as professional as the racer. Not just anyone can be a navigator." He Lifeng paused and sighed. "Besides, you have to have a competition license. You won't be able to participate." Lin Yan didn't refute He Lifeng. Instead, she replied, "I have the photo." He Lifeng was stunned. "Why do you have a photo?" Lin Yan explained, "Actually, Uncle taught me how to race for a period of time. You know how worried my mother is, so I kept it a secret from my family. However, I didn't drive for long. My license is only an E-Class 1, which is barely enough for me to be a navigator." He Lifeng grinned. "I didn't expect you to have raced before. You're a girl, so it's impressive that you managed to get an E-license." Lin Yan replied, "Call me if you need me." He Lifeng nodded. "Okay. Thank you, cousin." Chapter 74. After the banquet, Lin Yan sent her mother home. Initially, her mother had been in a good mood because her grandfather had called them home for dinner. However, she hadn't expected that things would turn out this way. On the way home, she had been in a daze and was silent. Lin Yan knew very well that her mother had shouldered all the responsibilities all these years and had been depressed to the point of being sick. If this went on, she was afraid that her mother's health and mental state would deteriorate. She had thought of many ways to divert her mother's attention, but the knot in her mother's heart was too deep. When her mother had divorced Lin Yuetong, the court had awarded her a part of the divorce compensation and a house. However, because her eldest uncle had been drinking and causing trouble, he had offended a rich young master in the capital city. He had been sued and sent to jail. If her eldest uncle had been sent to jail, his life would have been ruined. In order to save her eldest uncle, her mother had given up on the divorce compensation and begged Lin Yuetong for help. The house in the capital city that Lin Yuetong had promised her had been turned into an unfinished building in the suburbs. Her eldest uncle hadn't been grateful at all. Instead, he had vented his anger on her mother. When the car arrived, Lin Yan held her mother's arm and tried to console her. "Mom, don't take it to heart. Don't use other people's mistakes to punish yourself. You've already done a good job. Don't feel like you owe me. I'm an adult and I can take care of myself. As for Shia, she's living a good life with father now. You don't have to worry." Lin Yan paused before she tried to persuade her mother. "Mom, you really have to plan for yourself. You're still young. You've just had a failed marriage. Are you going to spend the rest of your life like this?" As usual, Lin Yan consoled her mother. However, her efforts were futile. Her mother had been immersed in the guilt of the past. She had spent the rest of her life trying to atone for her sins. She hadn't thought about herself at all. The pampered and arrogant young lady of the past had been forcefully ground into a soulless shell by life. "Yen, don't worry. I'm fine. I've gotten used to it after all these years. I can handle it. Besides, your uncle is right. It's my fault." Sigh, as expected, Lin Yan looked helpless when she heard her mother's words. She was about to speak when she saw a familiar blue car parked downstairs. As soon as they got closer, the door opened, and a middle-aged man in a suit walked out of the car. Lin Yan recognized the man immediately. Uncle Xie? Xiaoyan. The middle-aged man hurried over to greet her. When he glanced at He Muyun, he seemed a little reserved. Even his voice had softened. Muyun. You're back, Lin Yan grinned. Uncle Xie, why are you here so late? Chapter 75. Xie Zheng had tried to woo her mother when they were in school. However, her mother hadn't liked the rich and powerful young masters. She had thought that they were impulsive and unambitious. She had fallen in love with Lin Yuetong, who came from a poor but talented family. In the beginning, her mother and Lin Yuetong had a sweet time together. However, no one had expected that Lin Yuetong would hide his feelings so well. After spending so much time with him, Lin Yuetong's innate selfishness and vanity were exposed. He had even despised her mother, who was a rich girl. Later on, her mother had found out that Lin Yuetong had a first love who had been in love with him. However, she had been forced to marry a rich man. From then on, Lin Yuetong had hated rich people. To Lin Yuetong, her mother had merely been a tool for him to climb up the social ladder. By the time her mother had woken up, Lin Yuetong had already used his disguise to win the trust of the He family. He had even taken away half of his grandfather's inheritance. After her mother had gotten married, Xie Zheng had been depressed for a long time. After many years, he had been pressured by his family to get married. However, they had divorced shortly after due to their incompatible personalities. After that, Xie Zheng had never remarried. When he had found out that her mother had divorced, Xie Zheng had sought her out immediately, hoping to help them. However, her mother had rejected him. After that, Xie Zheng had visited her a few more times with various shopping bags. Although her mother had rejected him, he had persisted. Naturally, her mother understood what Xie Zheng wanted. That was why she had rejected his help. She didn't want to give him unnecessary hope. In the past, she had always felt that it was inappropriate for her to interfere in the private affairs of the elders. However, now, she suddenly felt that perhaps she could matchmake him and her mother. She hadn't interfered in the past because she hadn't been sure if Xie Zheng had done it on a whim. However, after so many years of observation, she had realized that he hadn't been moved by any of the young ladies around him. He hadn't remarried and had been waiting for her mother. Once, when she had come to look for her mother, she had seen Xie Zheng's car parked downstairs. It seemed like he had been guarding the place the whole night. When she had gone up to ask him, he had realized that there had been a burglar recently, so it wasn't safe. Hence, he had been guarding the place for a few days. Only then was she certain that Xie Zheng had truly loved her mother. However, it was clear that Xie Zheng's luck was not very good tonight. Because his mother had just come back from Grandpa's place, she was in a bad mood, so she definitely wouldn't be in the mood to deal with him. "Thank you, sir." Sure enough, his mother only greeted him lightly. Seeing his mother's distant expression and cold attitude, the light in Xie Zheng's eyes instantly dimmed. A man like Xie Zheng was decisive and impartial in the business world. However, in front of his mother, he was like a helpless teenager. Just because of his mother's distant gaze, he instantly became lonely. Lin Yan sighed helplessly. Suddenly, she pitied the man. Based on the current situation, if this man were to chase her by himself, he would never be able to woo his mother in this lifetime. Chapter 76. However, even if she hadn't seen pork, she had seen it before. She had been hanging out with the male team members, so she had seen some moves. Hence, Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she coughed gently to break the silence. "Uncle Xie, let's not stand here. Let's talk inside." Xie Zheng's eyes lit up. "Okay, however," He Muyun said, "it's too late. It's not convenient. Let's do it another day." If he said that he would have time some other day, it would be an indefinite period. Xie Zheng knew that He Muyun had completely rejected him, but he still nodded his head subconsciously. Okay. Okay, Lin Yan was speechless. How could she be so agreeable? No wonder he hadn't made any progress despite pursuing her for so long. Lin Yan was infuriated. She kept signaling Xia Zheng with her eyes, but he didn't seem to understand her at all. As her mother was about to head upstairs, Lin Yan hurriedly said, "Oh no. Uncle Xia, I saw that you were limping when you walked. Have you not recovered from your injury?" Her mother paused when she heard Lin Yan. "Mr. Xia, are you injured?" Although her mother was cold to Xia Zheng and kept her distance from him, her upbringing had taught her manners. Hence, she asked politely when she heard that he was injured. Lin Yan seized the opportunity to answer her mother. "Mom, don't you know?" Indeed, Xia Zheng hadn't mentioned this to her mother. Lin Yan added, "Didn't a burglar appear here some time ago? Uncle Xia was worried about you after he heard about it. He was afraid that you wouldn't be safe at home, so he watched over you for a few nights. One night, he really saw the burglar. He accidentally injured his leg while trying to catch the burglar. It was a serious injury." He Muyun, who had no idea about this, looked shocked and awkward when she heard Lin Yan's words. Actually, Xia Zheng had only sprained his leg. He instinctively wanted to retort. "Muyun, it's not that. It's just a small injury. It has already healed." Lin Yan was speechless. She was exhausted. She was already in such a state, yet she couldn't get up. Lin Yan gritted her teeth and hurriedly tried to smooth things over. "Mom, Uncle Xia was worried that you would be worried, so he comforted you. That wound was so serious that he wouldn't be able to get out of bed for a long time. Oh, by the way, Mom, didn't you go to the old Chinese medicine doctor to prescribe medicine for bruises and injuries? I used it, and the effect is quite good. She should ask Uncle Xia to apply some ointment in the room. He is a single man and doesn't know how to take care of himself. Look, he's still limping." This. He Muyun hesitated for a moment, but her heart softened in the end. Moreover, the other party was injured because of her. Then come in. I still have some medicine left from the last time I went to get for Xiaoyan." Lin Yan was elated when her mother relented. She shot Xia Zheng a look. Xia Zheng did not expect He Muyun to ask him to go upstairs. He was dumbfounded and only regained his senses after a while. "But my legs are gone," he said in a daze. Chapter 77. She was an iron-willed girl. How could he refuse to cooperate? Was it easy for her? Under Lin Yan's relentless efforts, Xia Zheng finally followed them into the house. The house was small and filled with things. However, He Muyun had tidied it up nicely. Xia Zheng sat down on a small wooden stool and looked at the paintings on the wall in a daze. His eyes were filled with nostalgia. Xia Zheng's eyes followed his mother's silhouette until she entered the bedroom to look for medicine. He couldn't bear to look away. Lin Yan plopped down on the stool beside Xia Zheng and gulped down a cup of tea. Then, she snapped at Xia Zheng, "Uncle Xia, I already told you so. Why did you ruin my plan?" Xia Zheng looked helpless. "Xiaoyan, my injury has indeed healed. Your mother will definitely find out that I lied to her later. Won't she hate me even more then? Besides, I don't want to lie to Muyun. I should tell your mother the truth." Lin Yan rolled her eyes. "All right then, I'll help you all the way." Then, without waiting for Xia Zheng to finish his sentence, she pinched Xia Zheng's thigh hard. "Ah!" Xia Zheng yelped in pain. Lin Yan replied, "You're not lying anymore." He Muyun hurried out of the room. What happened? Lin Yan's expression didn't change. "Uncle Xia's leg is hurting." After her experience with Pei Yucheng, nothing could affect her acting skills. Xia Zheng was speechless. He Muyun hurried out with the ointment. Indeed, there was a bruise on Xia Zheng's ankle that hadn't dissipated yet. "The doctor is very good. This medicine is effective. Try it." He Muyun passed the ointment to him. Xia Zheng was overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. He accepted it as though he was holding a rare treasure. Thank you, Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief. She glanced at the time on her phone and said, Mom, I have to wake up early tomorrow, so I have to leave now. When Uncle Xia is done applying the ointment, please send him downstairs. She didn't wait for Xia Zhang and He Muyun to react. Instead, she vanished into thin air. She hoped that Xia Zhang could seize this opportunity to have a good chat with her mother and improve their relationship. After she went downstairs, Lin Yan glanced up at the second floor. After she was done, she prepared to leave. He hadn't gone far when a car light shone from behind him. Instinctively, Lin Yan turned her head and saw Xia Zhang's car following her. What was going on? He had just gone up, so why did he come down? The car window rolled down and Xia Zhang said, Yan, get in. I'll drive you. Lin Yan asked hastily, Uncle Xia, why did you come down so quickly? Don't tell me, my mom chased him down? Xia Zhang looked a little awkward as he said, No, I'm just afraid that Muyun will feel uncomfortable being alone with me. Lin Yan was speechless. She was speechless. Lin Yan opened the door helplessly and got in. After a moment of silence, Xia Zhang said, Yan, thank you. Lin Yan was still depressed. Why are you thanking me? Xia Zhang, thank you for just now, Lin Yan asked, I pinched you? Xia Zhang coughed. Chapter 78. Uncle Xia, you don't have to thank me. The reason why I'm helping you is because I've seen what you've done for my mother for so many years. I can feel that you truly love her, Xia Zhang replied hurriedly, Of course I do. I swear to God. Lin Yan sighed heavily. It's just that you know my mother's personality. If no one gives her a push, she will never be able to move on from her past. Uncle Xia, Lin Yan tried her best to sound tactful. You've always done so much for her without letting her know. If this goes on, the two of you will never make any progress. Xia Zhang replied helplessly, Xiaoyan, I'm not afraid that you'll laugh at me, but I'm at a loss when I see your mother. I don't know how to interact with her, Uncle Xia, please cooperate with me the next time I help you. For example, tonight was a rare opportunity for the two of you to be alone. Why don't you seize this opportunity to have a good chat? Xia Zhang replied solemnly, Xiaoyan, I got it. I will listen to you next time. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan had her doubts about Xia Zhang's behavior tonight. She hoped so. Lin Yan bade farewell to Xia Zhang and went upstairs. Fortunately, she had changed her address in time, so her fans hadn't been able to find her. Her trips had been smooth. In addition, although her fans' circle was very harsh on her, she was, after all, an invisible person who had not appeared in front of the public for a long time. Usually, she dressed up so well that it was impossible to tell that she was a celebrity. In real life, basically no one recognized her. Lin Yan had just arrived home when her WeChat beeped furiously. Lin Yan sighed heavily. She didn't have to guess to know who it was. She tapped on it and saw that it was indeed a message from Pei Yutong. This car isn't going to kindergarten, typed, Sister Yan. My eyes. Oh my eyes. What did I see? Your profile picture. Your nickname. This car isn't going to kindergarten, typed, Sister Yan. Why did your profile picture and nickname change from second brother to big brother? What is going on? Second sister-in-law has become big sister-in-law? This car isn't going to kindergarten, typed, Sister Yan. Emergency. Emergency. This car isn't going to kindergarten, typed, Sister Yan. Talk to me. This car isn't going to kindergarten, typed, Sister Yan, no, big sister-in-law. You and my brother are together. This car isn't going to kindergarten, sister-in-law, I wish you and my brother a long, blissful life together, and have children soon. Sister-in-law, in my heart, you and my eldest brother are a match made in heaven. They were definitely soul mates. I will never stop you from being with big brother. From today onwards, sister-in-law, you are my sister-in-law. Lin Yan had already forgotten about the ticking time bomb that was Pei Yucheng. Now that he had brought it up, she was naturally in a bad mood. When she saw that he was still bombarding her, she typed the word "scram" harshly. Immediately, he prepared to send it out. Just as he was about to press the send button, his phone buzzed twice. This car isn't going to kindergarten. Red packet, big brother and sister-in-law will grow old together. This car isn't going to kindergarten. Red packet, big brother and sister-in-law will be happily married forever. This car isn't going to kindergarten. Red packet, big brother and sister-in-law, have a son soon. Lin Yan blinked. Chapter 79. After receiving the 3 red packets, Lin Yan felt much better. However, her good mood didn't last for long. Her manager, Zhao Hongling, had sent her a video interview with Lin Xia and Lin Yuetong. The background of the interview was Lin Yuetong's residence. Lin Xia was wearing an elegant white gown as she sat in front of her desk and answered the reporter's questions. Her father, Lin Yuetong, was seated beside her with a loving expression. The reporter said, "Miss Xia, as the most popular actress in Triumph Entertainment and the National Angel, you must have gone through a lot." Lin Xia replied, "The process of working hard was indeed tough, but it also allowed me to accumulate more strength to help more people." The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. Had it been tough? Even during the most difficult times, her mother and her had never let her suffer. Later on, she had Han Yishuan, Lin Yuetong, and many other admirers to protect her. Her life had been smooth sailing. How had it been tough? The reporter asked, "Xia, I heard that you have a sister?" Lin Yuetong had kept the fact that Lin Yan was Lin Yuetong's daughter a secret, as he had despised her. Lin Yan would never divulge this relationship. Hence, even though the reporter knew that Lin Yuetong had a daughter, he had no idea that it was Lin Yan. Lin Xia's face darkened, and she looked sad. "Yes, but my sister dropped out of high school. She doesn't go home every day. She didn't even come home when my mother was sick. The moment she comes home, she asks for money." Although Lin Yan was used to Lin Xia twisting the truth, she was impressed by her words. When her mother had been sick, she had given up on an important competition and applied for leave to take care of her. Lin Xia, on the other hand, had gone on a summer vacation with her classmates. Lin Xia had been the one who had begged for money every time she came home. "Oh my God. This sister is too much." In the video, the reporters angrily defended Lin Xia. One of them asked, "Oh yeah, I heard that Miss Xia established the largest animal rescue center in the city. Is that true?" Lin Xia smiled humbly. "Yeah, I've always liked animals." "What? Miss Xia has established an animal rescue center before?" a reporter asked curiously. Lin Yuetong replied proudly, "That's right. Xia told me that she was the founder of Angel's Shelter." The reporters were shocked. Angel's Shelter was a famous animal rescue center. It was very influential, but the founder was very low profile and never accepted interviews. Who would have thought that the mysterious founder would be Lin Xia? Lin Yan almost burst out laughing when she heard this. How did Angel's Shelter, which she had spent years building, end up in the hands of Lin Xia? Lin Xia had always hated kittens and puppies. Every time she asked Lin Xia for help, Lin Xia would be reluctant and ask her to buy expensive clothes and bags in exchange. Now, for the sake of establishing a persona, she actually took all the credit for herself. Lin Yan closed the interview and texted Zhao Hongling. "Misty City amid the setting sun, I'm done. Why did you send this to me?" "Zhao Hongling, I'm asking you to learn from him. See how he sets up his character. Misty City amid the setting sun, are you sure you're not trying to hurt my feelings?" "Zhao Hongling, did you change your profile picture and nickname?" "Great. It's rare that you're willing to change." Chapter 80. Lin Yan dialed Zhao Hongling's number. After reconnecting with Zhao Hongling, Lin Yan left the filming crew to Zhao Hongling. Lin Yan asked, "Sister Ling, when will Director Zhang's filming start? Has the schedule been set?" She wondered if she would be able to make it on the day of her grandfather's race. Zhao Hongling said directly, "Come to the company tomorrow. Let's meet and talk." Lin Yan nodded. "Okay." Zhao Hongling added, "Remember to cover up. Your haters are waiting at the door." Lin Yan replied, "Okay." In other people's homes, there were fans holding up support signs and small gifts waiting at the company, sending their idols to and from work. But what about her? She hadn't had a single fan ever since she debuted. The haters waiting were haters with axes, eggs, and rotten vegetables. They were ready to pounce on her and beat her up. She was the only one in the entertainment industry who had ever received such treatment. Too many things had happened recently, and every one of them had been earth-shattering. If Lin Yan had been in the same state she had been in when she had first returned to the country, she would have collapsed. After she had been banned from competing, she had felt as though her entire world had crumbled. She couldn't focus on anything. Back then, she had allowed Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan to plot against her. She had been deceived by Lin Shuya and Han Yishuan because she hadn't put in the effort. So what if her world had crumbled? She would create a brand new world. Even if her future was uncertain, she wouldn't be afraid as long as she was determined. The next day, at Star Entertainment, Lin Yan followed Zhao Hongling's instructions and rushed to the office obediently. Star Entertainment wasn't a huge company, but compared to other small companies that didn't even make a splash, Star Entertainment had been developing rather well. Zhao Hongling had managed to nurture an A-list artist, and the entire company's reputation had risen. Lin Yan put on a mask and sunglasses at Zhao Hongling's reminder and left the office. The moment she reached the entrance, she saw her loyal haters standing in an orderly line. Compared to the past, the size of the team was dozens of times larger. All the fans of the other artists in the company combined wouldn't be as many as her haters. There were even placards. No, there were even placards to protest. The words Lin Yan, get out of the entertainment industry, and Lin Yan is a pretentious B***TCH, were scrawled on it. Lin Yan was extremely proud of the size and training of her haters. She clicked her tongue in admiration and sighed in admiration before entering the building through the side door. When she entered the company, everyone seemed to be a little surprised to see her. Then, they all revealed looks of disgust and whispered to each other. "Isn't that Lin Yan? Why is she here? You're already in this state and you still dare to go out? You're too shameless." She's been shameless for a long time. She looks weak and doesn't want to fight for anything, but she's actually very scheming. Seriously, how can this kind of person be an artist of our company? I can't even tell people that I'm cheating now. Lin Yan had heard these words too many times, so she had long since forgotten them. He had only taken a few steps when he met a familiar face. It was Zhao Hongling's assistant, Duo. Lin Yan grabbed her. Duo. Chapter 81. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. "Thank you for the compliment. I guess it's because I'm lucky." Duo scanned Lin Yan's long, messy hair. She looked as though she was wearing a sack of clothes. Duo seemed to understand why she hadn't been recognized. "You don't even wash your hair or make up. Sister Yan, have you become so unrestrained? Your image is going to crumble." However, Lin Yan's bare face looked much better than before. Lin Yan's bare face looked much better than when she had put on heavy makeup and a face that looked as pale as a sheet of flour. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched slightly. Her previous persona was that of a delicate, innocent, and naive girl. If she could establish this persona well, she would become a national angel like Lin Shuya, who was loved by everyone. In the past, Lin Yan had been the one to manage Lin Yan's Weibo account. Lin Shuya had once posted that she had injured her finger. In the past, Lin Shuya had been managing Lin Yan's Weibo account. She remembered that Lin Shia had once posted that she had injured her finger. The wound had been small, so if she hadn't looked at it carefully, it would have healed in the next second. Other than making use of Lin Yan's popularity to create a scandal, this post was also one of Lin Yan's most notorious scandals. Lin Yan had already come up with a plan to create a new persona for herself. Darling Duo, don't be so concerned about me. This is something that my haters should be concerned about. Lin Yan rolled her eyes at Duo before she asked, "Where is Sister Ling?" Duo's face fell as she gestured for Lin Yan to come closer. She whispered, "Sister Ling is in her office, but she isn't in a good mood. What's wrong?" Lin Yan was puzzled. Duo replied, "Jiang Sifei has jumped ship." Lin Yan was shocked when she heard this bombshell. Jiang Sifei jumped ship. How could that be? She is Sister Ling's most trusted subordinate. If Lin Yan was the biggest blemish on Zhao Hongling's reputation, then Jiang Sifei would be her greatest pride. Duo grimaced. That's right. Sister Ling started off as a newbie who didn't know anything. She groomed her for so many years and used so many resources. It wasn't easy for her to become an A-lister. In the end, Jiang Sifei suddenly jumped ship at this critical juncture. This is too much, Lin Yan was puzzled. When did this happen? Why didn't I know about it? Duo sighed. It's normal that you didn't know about it. It happened too suddenly this morning. She had an argument with Sister Ling and left. Lin Yan's face hardened as she replied slowly, her contract isn't up yet, so the penalty is a hefty sum. Not many companies can afford it. Summit Entertainment, Triumph Entertainment, Shanghua Entertainment, Storm Age, House of Millions Media. Among these companies, Summit Entertainment was the most demanding. Even an A-lister might not be able to join them. Jiang Sifei was obviously not up to the mark. In order to establish a strong image, Triumph Entertainment had started to use Summit Entertainment as a reference for poaching talent. Storm Era had always supported its own people, and Shanghua Entertainment had been facing some financial problems recently. Entertainment of Shao of Wang, Yang of Yen of the Duo was dumbfounded. Sister Yen, you're right. It's House of Millions Media. She. Of XT of them. Chapter 82. Lin Yan didn't look angry at all. Instead, she smiled calmly and said, "Well, they are rich. Playing with RMB is within the rules." Duo was taken aback. She had assumed that Lin Yan was an idiot who didn't know anything. She hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be so knowledgeable. She had even been able to analyze which company was trying to poach Jiang Sifei. She couldn't believe that Lin Yan had said those words. "How is Sister Ling now?" asked Lin Yan. Duo snapped back to her senses and replied helplessly, "What else can she do?" It wasn't easy for Sister Ling to become the director of the talent department. Now that Jiang Sifei has left, Sister Ling's performance has plummeted. Zhao Hongling's style was unyielding. She had offended many people in the company over the years. However, due to her outstanding performance and the fact that she had single-handedly nurtured the company's only celebrity, Jiang Sifei, no one could do anything about it. Now that Jiang Sifei had left, Zhao Hongling's situation wasn't looking good. Lin Yan patted Duo's shoulder. "Let's go. Take me to Sister Ling." Duo led Lin Yan to Sister Ling's office. "Sister Ling, Lin Yan is here." Duo glanced at Zhao Hongling worriedly before she whispered to Lin Yan, "Sister Ling is so upset. Hurry up and say what you want to say. Otherwise, Sister Ling will feel even worse when she sees you." Lin Yan was speechless. She couldn't refute Duo's words. "Sister Ling." Lin Yan greeted her. In the past, Zhao Hongling had always been busy. Now, she was sitting quietly in front of her desk, looking as though she was in a daze. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan expressionlessly. You're here. Have a seat. Zhao Hongling had always been an iron lady, so Lin Yan didn't know how to console her. She sat down and coughed softly. Sister Ling, don't be too upset. It's okay that Jiang Sifei has left. You still have me. I just took on Director Zhang's new role and I'm rumored to be with Mr. Pei. Millions of haters are rooting for me. I have a bright future ahead of me. Zhao Hongling was speechless. Duo was speechless. Who gave you the courage to say something like that? Even though it was Director Zhang's movie, it was just a supporting role, and it was even in a precarious situation. As for the millions of haters, was it something to brag about? She was about to be slandered to death. Zhao Hongling was amused by her. You are quite confident. Lin Yan grinned. Of course. I'm confident that I'll be your most popular artist in the future. Duo couldn't help but laugh. Pfft, you're more like the blackest artist. You don't even need to wait, you're already one now. Duo couldn't help but steal another glance at Lin Yan. For some reason, she felt that Lin Yan was different this time. Today, Lin Yan had no makeup on, and her skin was glowing and healthy. Unlike in the past, when she would always wear heavy makeup and inappropriate clothes. In order to portray a weak and delicate image, she would even make her face look pale and pale. It wasn't just his appearance that had changed. In the past, Lin Yan had always looked lifeless and indifferent to everything that was happening around her. She had never said that she would be the most popular artist under his management. But now, it was clearly the same person, and he was even dressed so sloppily. He was just sitting there casually, but his entire person seemed to have lit up, and his eyes seemed to be filled with thousands of stars. Chapter 83. Zhao Hongling passed a stack of documents to Lin Yan. Let's get down to business. I've already told you about your current situation. If you want to make a comeback, you have to change and create a positive persona to salvage your image. Duo couldn't help but mutter, Sister Ling, is there any way to salvage her image? Lin Yan was speechless. It's really hard to change everyone's deep-rooted impression of me. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan and pointed at the stack of documents. This is a list of female celebrities in the entertainment industry. Take a look and choose one that you can handle. Lin Yan took the documents and flipped through them. Let me see. A diligent and professional persona. This is not bad. Duo glanced at her in disbelief. Forget it. You posted a Weibo post with a cut on your finger. Your acting skills are terrible, and you have no talent at all. You're obviously useless, yet you're so picky and arrogant. How can you maintain a diligent and professional persona? The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. She wanted to explain herself, but she realized that she had given off such an impression. She couldn't explain herself. Hence, she flipped to the second page. What about a smart scholar? Wow. I think this is suitable for me. Duo looked even more shocked as she retorted, Sister Yan, please wake up. Everyone knows that you only have a high school education and didn't even get into college. How can you claim to be a smart scholar? Lin Yan was speechless. It wasn't that she hadn't gotten into college. She just hadn't gone to college. She had been the top student in the entire province. Her parents had divorced when she was in her first year of high school. Lin Shia had been 2 years younger than her, so she had been in the second year of middle school. At first, her mother had been in good health, so she had been able to do odd jobs. She had also been working part-time, so she had been able to make ends meet. However, during her college entrance exams, Lin Shia, who had always been weak, had fallen into the water. Her illness had flared up, and she had needed a huge sum of money for surgery and medical treatment. She and her mother had tried to think of ways to raise the money, but they hadn't been able to. Her mother had even begged her grandfather for help. However, her grandfather wasn't doing well either. He had a huge debt, so he couldn't afford it. She had naively gone to look for her father, only to see a woman getting out of his car. Ma Monru was the fuse that caused his father and mother to divorce. After Ma Monru married into a rich family, she had a good life at first. But later, her husband went bankrupt and owed a lot of debt. She often came to her father and pretended to be pitiful. Every time she was in trouble, her father would leave her mother behind and rush over. Even for Ma Monru's divorce case, her father was the one who helped her find a lawyer. As soon as Ma Monru got divorced, her father forced her mother to divorce her. However, Ma Monru's means were very high. She knew that what she couldn't get was the best. After her father's divorce, she deliberately kept him hanging. She never agreed to marry her father, but it made her father more devoted to her. At that time, Lin Yan had gone crazy. She had cursed Ma Monru, but Lin Yuetong had slapped her and pushed her into the rain, protecting her carefully. Chapter 84. She suppressed her anger and humiliation as she told her father about her sister's condition and begged him to save her. Lin Yuetong's reply was to tell her to scram. He also said, "Both of you are a bunch of hooligans who only know how to ask me for money." That night, she had sprawled in front of the hospital bed as she watched her sister, who was so weak that she could only wait for death. She had felt hopeless and helpless. She had desperately wanted to become stronger. At the time, the top university in the country had promised to give her a full scholarship and financial aid. However, it had been a drop in the bucket. She hadn't been in the mood to study, so she hadn't been able to complete the admission procedures. Her youngest uncle had told her that a foreign team had taken a liking to her. They had offered her a high salary and promised to pay her in advance. At that time, her mother was so worried that she fell ill. Her sister's follow-up treatments and the expensive medication that she had to take for a long time were burning money. She couldn't wait for 4 years. There were too many things that could happen in these 4 years. In the end, Lin Yan had decided to give up her studies without hesitation. She had gone abroad and embarked on a dangerous journey alone. In order to prevent her mother from worrying, she had adopted a new identity and name and rarely appeared in public. No one knew that Yeva, the genius racer who had shocked the entire racing industry, was actually a young Chinese lady. Hence, when she had found out that the person who had ruined her was her sister, whom she had protected with her life, she had broken down. Lin Yan's heart still ached at the thought of this, but she wasn't as resentful as before. After all, it took emotion to hate someone. Lin Yan grinned nonchalantly and complained, "Sister Ling, you should control Duo Duo." Duo Duo snorted coldly. "What's wrong with me? I'm telling the truth." Zhao Hongling, who was obviously troubled, glanced at Lin Yan and asked, "What do you think?" Lin Yan stroked her chin and picked up a pen. She flipped to a blank page and wrote a few words. "I think this persona suits me. What is it?" Duo Duo leaned over curiously. Then, she saw that Lin Yan had written 2 words on the page, Lin Yan. "Lin Yan? What do you mean?" Duo Duo was puzzled. Lin Yan quipped, "Creating a persona isn't something that can be forcefully done. Besides, it'll be too easy for fans to see through it. Instead of being forceful, it's better for me to let go of myself and do whatever I want. I'll just be myself. This way, there won't be any flaws." Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan. "Are you sure?" Lin Yan shrugged. "Is there any other way?" Duo Duo looked at her in horror. "Sister Ling, please don't do that. Look at her now. She'll be in trouble if she continues to let loose." Lin Yan tilted her head and grinned. "Darling Duo Duo, you have such a sharp tongue. No one will want you in the future." Duo Duo rolled her eyes at her. "None of your business." "It's fine. I want it." Lin Yan glanced at Zhao Hongling. "Sister Ling, I need an assistant. Why don't you give Duo Duo to me?" "How much do you want?" Zhao Hongling was surprised. Chapter 85. Yes, yes. I want duo. Lin Yen nodded repeatedly. Duoduo's face turned pale. No. I don't want to be your assistant. You're so hard to please. Where is your previous assistant, Xiaolu? Why don't you look for her? Lin Shia had been the one who had helped Lin Yen find Xiaolu. Lin Shia had been the one who had manipulated her from behind the scenes. She had worked hard to recruit haters for her. No one around Lin Yen had realized that something was amiss. Only Zhao Hongling, who had sensed that something was amiss, had gone to ask her. Lin Yen had then told Zhao Hongling that her sister had helped her find an assistant. Zhao Hongling had warned her that there was something wrong with Lin Shia. However, Lin Yen had been muddle-headed and had trusted her sister too much. Hence, she hadn't believed Zhao Hongling's warning. She had fired Xiaolu after she had found out the truth. Zhao Hongling pondered for a moment before she said, Duo, please take care of Lin Yen. I won't feel at ease leaving her to someone else. Duo didn't dare disobey Zhao Hongling. She glared at Lin Yen bitterly. Why did you have to choose me? Lin Yen grinned at her. You're adorable and you like to speak the truth. I need someone like you to remind me. Besides, your name is nice. Lin Yen glanced at the name on Duoduo's name tag. It was Qian Duo. What a nice name. It was auspicious. Lin Yen patted Duoduo's shoulders and consoled her. Duo, don't be like this. Be more optimistic. Who knows, you might become the assistant of a top star in the entertainment industry. Duo stared at her expressionlessly. Before that, I would have been hacked to death by your haters. No matter what, the matter of Lin Yan's assistant had been decided. Zhao Hongling found the contract that the production team of Meeting One's match had sent to her and asked Lin Yan to sign it. Then, she informed Lin Yan about the work arrangements. The auditions are in 7 days, and we'll start shooting right after that. I don't expect you to improve your acting skills much during this period of time. I only have one request for you. Be a good person and don't cause any more trouble for me. Wait quietly for the public opinion to cool down. I will get Duo to supervise you. You have to listen to her, warned Zhao Hongling. Lin Yan replied readily, no problem. Zhao Hongling sighed and handed her a form. This is your schedule. You don't have many scenes, so you may be waiting most of the time. Be patient and don't complain. If you're really bored, download a few games on your phone to play. Don't look for trouble when you have nothing better to do. Zhao Hongling sympathized with Lin Yan, so she wanted to help her. However, given Lin Yan's current situation, she couldn't be of much help. Ultimately, she would have to depend on herself. Lin Yan listened to Zhao Hongling's words with a pained expression. She was half dead before, so she didn't have the energy to find fault with him. Basically, it was Xiaolu who passed down fake edicts and made strange requests such as, the specified food must be from a 3-star Michelin restaurant, the coffee must be hot, or she won't drink it, and she mustn't touch her makeup. It was no wonder that Toto was so frightened when he heard that she wanted to be his assistant. She had no choice but to solve these problems left behind by history bit by bit. Chapter 86. When she had first returned to the country, she hadn't been able to come into contact with anything related to racing. She would break down at the sight of it. She remembered that once when she was filming an episode of a variety show, Xiaolu suddenly showed her a report related to racing on his phone. She had lost her composure and her soul had wandered out of her body. Her performance had been extremely awkward and she had been nicknamed the variety black hole. Because of her poor acting skills and bad reputation, variety shows had refused to hire her. Her situation had become increasingly difficult. She had felt a knot in her heart even before she had helped Pei Yutong race. It was only after that night that she had sat in the car and felt the rush of speed that she had been able to shake off this knot in her heart. Zhao Hongling was advising Lin Yan about the things she needed to take note of when the office door was shoved open violently. Then, he saw 5 or 6 agents squeezing into the room aggressively. Zhao Hongling regained her stern expression and glared at them coldly. What's the matter? They looked as though they were going to interrogate her. The middle-aged man slammed the table and bellowed, Zhao Hongling, how dare you ask? You can't even manage one person. Jiang Sifei is the only A-lister in the company. Do you know how much her departure will affect the company? That's right. You have to take full responsibility for making such a big mess. Without Jiang Sifei, your performance will be worse than a C-lister's. What right do you have to be the director of the talent recruitment department? Duo was infuriated by everyone's condemnation. Hey! You guys are too much. No matter how good Jiang Sifei is, she was groomed by Sister Ling. Without Sister Ling, would our company have any A-listers? A female manager with exquisite makeup sneered coldly. How dare you say that? Didn't she use the company's money to promote her? In order to promote Jiang Sifei, she snatched so many resources and funds from us. Now that he's gone, we've lost everything. Look at how much the company has suffered. Duo retorted angrily, nonsense. Most of the resources were obtained by Sister Ling herself. If she relied on the company, then what about you guys? Why didn't you have the ability to promote an A-lister? Duo wanted to continue, but Zhao Hongling stopped her. Duo, stop talking. The agents were still questioning her relentlessly. Zhao Hongling, you have to give us an explanation no matter what. The office door was wide open, surrounded by the company's employees and artists. Zhao Hongling was usually so heartless that many people were gloating over her misfortune. This was especially true for the artists who had always been overshadowed by Jiang Sifei. One of the B-list celebrities crossed his arms in disdain. Without Jiang Sifei, Zhao Hongling is nothing. What right does she have to be the director? If she hadn't been so overbearing and snatched all the company's resources, would we have been suppressed until now? Now, I'm finally getting my retribution. The other artists chimed in as well. That's right. I think she's only fit to manage an artist like Lin Yan. No wonder she asked Lin Yan to come back. I think she's at her wit's end. The artists did not hold back their voices at all. Their volume was so loud that everyone in the office could hear them. Chapter 87. In no time at all, Zhao Hongling had become the target of everyone's criticism. Everyone wanted to drag her down with them. Zhao Hongling's performance had always been stable, so no one had any evidence to use against her. This time, Jiang Sifei had jumped ship, so Zhao Hongling couldn't be absolved of the blame. Zhao Hongling knew this very well. Thus, she inhaled deeply and glanced at everyone. This is indeed my fault. I will resign from my position as the director of the talent department. She had never been one to shirk responsibility. No matter what, it was a fact that Jiang Sifei had jumped ship from her. Duo gasped in shock. Sister Ling. Everyone had obviously been waiting for Zhao Hongling to say this. When they heard Zhao Hongling, they gloated and began to make sarcastic remarks. That's how it should be. There are so many people in the company watching. How are you going to convince them with your current performance? Suddenly, Lin Yan, who was supposed to stay out of sight, sauntered into the middle of the crowd. The girl scanned the crowd nonchalantly and said, "Hold on. What's the rush?" Everyone glared at Lin Yan in disgust. This is no place for you to speak. Lin Yan ignored them and said, "It's just that Jiang Sifei left. Why are you making such a fuss? In 3 months, I will help Sister Ling make up for all the lost sales. You will be the top performer." The moment Lin Yan finished speaking, the crowd burst into an uproar. Everyone stared at Lin Yan as though she was crazy. Even Zhao Hongling and Duo looked shocked. A moment later, the crowd burst into laughter. Ha 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 ha. Lin Yan, you must be crazy. How could you make such a ridiculous claim? You have been banned from the entertainment industry. You were just lucky enough to get a supporting role and shamelessly leached off Mr. Pei's fame. Now, you are on everyone's blacklist. It's good enough that you didn't implicate the company, yet you still want to help the company? I'm afraid she won't be able to keep the supporting role soon. Who would dare to hire a troublesome artist like her? How dare she compare herself to Jiang Xifei? Lin Yan remained unperturbed in the face of everyone's mockery. She grinned and said, I'll know if I can do it. What? Don't you have confidence in yourselves? Are you afraid that you'll be suppressed by me and lose face if you don't get the first place in sales? The managers' faces darkened when they heard this. You're simply talking nonsense here. Dream on. Lin Yan shrugged. That's settled then. Since everyone is so confident, why don't you dare to bet with me? No one had expected that Lin Yan would interfere. A few of them discussed angrily. Zhao Hongling had worked hard even if she didn't make any contributions. Even if they forced her to resign, the higher-ups wouldn't let her resign immediately. If Lin Yan were to stir things up, Zhao Hongling might be able to leave faster. At that time, Zhao Hongling's reputation would be ruined, and there would be no way for her to make a comeback. Therefore, the leading agent stood up and said, Okay, then we will wait for 3 months. At that time, if Director Zhao's performance is not first, remember today's promise. After they finished speaking, they left one after another. Chapter 88. Duo. Zhao Hongling shook her head and interrupted her with a sigh. Forget it. At least we have 3 months. Although 3 months wouldn't change anything, Duo was still indignant. She's just a troublemaker. Lin Yan blinked. Who knows, I might really become popular. Then, I might be able to make it to the top of the sales charts. Duo's face darkened. If you can make it to the top of the sales charts, then I'll serve you tea and listen to your every word. Zhao Hongling arranged a car for Duo to send Lin Yan home. Duo reminded her sternly, you have to be careful when you go out in the future. We can't get the funds to hire a bodyguard yet. Don't get beaten to death. Lin Yan grinned. I know. I won't die so easily. I still have to build an empire for you and Sister Ling. Duo quipped, an empire for the haters? Lin Yan was speechless. Couldn't they just have a pleasant conversation? Lin Yan glanced at her haters and sighed. These haters can't even recognize me when I'm standing right in front of them. Their loyalty is too low. Duo was rendered speechless. Stop joking around. Get in the car. Lin Yan was about to get in the car when the haters seemed to have discovered something. Suddenly, they dashed in her direction. Lin Yan. It's Lin Yan. Lin Yan, you be *TCH. How dare you touch my brother? I will fight you to the death. Sisters, hurry up. Beat this *TCH to death. For a moment, vegetable leaves, stones, and rotten eggs were hurled at him from all directions. Duo patted the rotten leaves on her head, fuming. You jinx. You have been recognized. Now you're done for. Lin Yan raised an eyebrow when she heard that. No way. How could you recognize me? I have underestimated their loyalty. Duo's face darkened. Someone from the company must have told them. Lin Yan quipped, we are from the same company. Isn't this too unfair? Who would be so wicked? Duo quipped, everyone in the company hates you. How would I know? Lin Yan was speechless. Hurry up and get in the car. In the nick of time, Lin Yan and Duo got into the car and sped away. It's been a long time since I've received such warm treatment from the haters. Lin Yan sighed as she patted her chest. Duo rolled her eyes at her. Everyone can't track you down, so they can only wait at the entrance of our company. And this is just a small group of people. When the filming starts, everyone will know that you're going to join the crew. All the haters will go and wait for you. That'll be the end. Think about how you'll die that day. Lin Yan's heart was pierced by arrows. She glanced at Qian Duoduo's name on the name tag and felt a little better. Plenty turned around and saw several cars chasing after them. There were also quite a few paparazzi who had rushed over after hearing the news. Duo anxiously urged, "Master, drive faster. This section of the road is not easy to drive. I'm already driving as fast as I can." The driver complained. Obviously, he did not want to take on this difficult task. Duo glared at Lin Yan. "It's all your fault. Sister Ling is in such a difficult situation, yet she still has to care about you." Chapter 89. Duo was panicking. What should we do? If they catch up to us, the consequences will be unimaginable. Lin Yan remained silent as she surveyed the road ahead. Then, she turned to glance at the cars behind them. "Old Zhang, get out of the car at the next red light." "I'll drive." Old Zhang was startled. "What? You'll drive?" Duo snapped. "Lin Yan, what are you doing? I thought you didn't know how to drive?" Lin Yan replied, "I do." Duo glared at her. "What do you know? How dare you lie to me? Sister Ling asked you to drive yourself, but you refused. Instead, you took the bus. In the end, you were surrounded by haters. Have you forgotten?" Lin Yan had no choice but to take the blame. At that time, her symptoms had been the worst. She had indeed been unable to drive, and she would feel dizzy the moment she touched a car. She had no choice but to take the bus. Lin Yan had no choice but to reply, "I didn't know how to drive before. I just got my license." Old Zhang snapped, "I can't even shake off an experienced driver like me. How can a newbie like you drive? Young people are too reckless." While they were talking, the car had already reached the traffic light in front. Lin Yan knew that she wouldn't be able to explain herself, so she got out of the car. Duo screamed, "Lin Yan! Are you crazy?" Lin Yan snapped, "Get out of the car." Old Zhang had no choice but to get out of the car. At the same time, the light was about to turn red. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the light turned green. Lin Yan stepped on the accelerator and overtook the car in front of her. Duo grabbed her seatbelt and yelled, "Lin Yan! Calm down. Being surrounded by reporters is still better than you dragging us to our deaths." Lin Yan used one hand to dig her ear. Duo, if you continue to yell at me, I will die from the noise." Duo yelled, "Don't hold the steering wheel with one hand." The moment Duo screamed, Lin Yan turned the corner and took a left turn. "Ah!" Duo shrieked. Even the driver clutched the handle. Where did Director Zhao find this artist? Is she out of her mind? However, the two of them soon discovered, Lin Yan seemed to be driving recklessly, but in fact, the car seemed to be controlled by an intricate machine. She overtook one car after another accurately and didn't touch any of the cars around her. She even remembered to follow the traffic rules and use her turn signal. Toto looked at the girl in the driver's seat through the rearview mirror in shock. The girl was wearing a mask, so her face could not be seen. However, the pair of eyes that were exposed were as calm as water, like a sharp blade. It was a look that she had never seen before. It actually made people feel inexplicably at ease. Just as she was lost in thought, she heard a buzzing sound. She had made a beautiful turn and arrived at a narrow road that could only accommodate one car at a time. This forest path was extremely narrow and difficult to drive. If one was not careful, they would drive into the fields next to it, not to mention driving quickly. However, their car was like a runaway wild horse on a grassland, still running smoothly. Chapter 90. By the time Duo and the chauffeur realized what was going on, the haters and the paparazzi were nowhere to be seen. After some time, Duo and the chauffeur finally managed to shake them off. Duo and the chauffeur were still sitting in their seats in shock. Old Zhang, who had been driving for years, could tell that Lin Yan was very skilled. He glanced at Lin Yan in surprise. "Miss Lin, where did you learn to drive? You don't look like a newbie." Duo mumbled, "Those paparazzi are like plaster. Once they stick to it, they won't be able to get rid of it. You're lucky that you managed to shake them off." Duo glared at Lin Yan sternly. "This is a special situation. You can't drive like this in the future. She would be in trouble if she drove like this normally." Lin Yan replied obediently, "Yes, Madam Duo." At Maple River Residences, Lin Yan began to formulate a plan for herself after she reached home. Although Star Entertainment wasn't a big company, it wouldn't be easy to become the top company in 3 months. After Jiang Sifei had left, Star Entertainment still had a few capable second-tier stars. Some of the third-tier stars also had good resources. Although she was considered a celebrity, her reputation was too bad. If she didn't change, she would have to live with this bad reputation for the rest of her life. Other than changing her public image and cleaning up her reputation, the only way for her to gain a foothold in this industry was through strength. Cleaning up her reputation wasn't something that could be done in a day or two. Only with irreplaceable strength would she be able to face all criticism. She had been living like a zombie ever since she had returned to the country. She had been manipulated by others and had wasted an entire year. She had started to shoulder the burden of life at the age of 15. At 18, she had left home to travel to another country. At 22, she had fallen at the peak of her career. At 23, she had been betrayed by the person she loved the most. She had been through the most painful times, so why should she be afraid of being cornered? It was just a fresh start. In the past, Lin Xia had manipulated her. Now, she had to plan everything herself. First, Lin Yan found her Weibo account. Lin Xia had helped her register, so she couldn't trust it. Besides, the content of the account had been terrible. Therefore, she registered a new account, with the nickname, "How to Solve My Worries, Only Get Rich." She used a picture of a kitten that she used to raise. It was the first stray cat that she had rescued, and now it was enjoying its old age at the rescue station. Then, she published her first Weibo post, "I am me." Fireworks of a different color. After posting it on her secondary account, she reposted it on her main account, "My babies, I don't need this Weibo account anymore. Welcome to my new Weibo to play with me _. Lin Yan's haters launched a flurry of attacks the moment she posted it. F***CK. Who's your baby? So disgusting. I feel like vomiting. This scheming B***TCH is trying to create hype again. Do you think your dark history will disappear just because you changed your Weibo account? What an IQ. Soon, Lin Yan's account gained thousands of fans. Lin Yan scanned the IDs quietly. Most of them were her hardcore haters. They would follow her wherever she went and scold her. They were extremely loyal. The Weibo post under the new account was quickly scolded. Chapter 91. A little firework typed, Yen, all the best. I support you. Be yourself. I believe that you're the best. Lin Yan blinked in surprise. Was this a fan pretending to be a fan? Sometimes, a fan would put on a fan's disguise and attract more haters than ordinary haters. This was a common tactic in the entertainment industry. However, Lin Yan pondered it carefully and realized that it didn't seem like it. Because she already had enough haters, no one would use this extra move. Besides, this comment didn't seem to be an act by a fan. Haters would purposely praise her and trample on other artists so that their fans would criticize her. The problem was, how could she have fans? In the early days, although her acting skills were terrible, she still had a few good-looking fans. But later on, her face was pale, weak, and lifeless all day long. No matter how good her looks were, they were not liked. Coupled with the baskets of scandals, she did not even have that little bit of good-looking fans. Hence, Lin Yan was shocked by the sudden appearance of a fan. Out of curiosity, Lin Yan scrolled through the fan's Weibo account and realized that she had reposted several pieces of gossip about her. Every single one of them seemed to be speaking up for her. Was she really a fan? Lin Yan's fingers paused when she saw a post that had been posted a long time ago. A little firework typed, "I know that I will definitely be scolded, but I can't hold it in any longer. I want to say something. From today onwards, I'm going to be a fan of Lin Yan. Yes, the Lin Yan that you know. She's a beautiful and kind angel. A few days ago, I went to Wei Shufeng's concert. There were too many people, and I fell to the ground. In the end, a young lady protected me and rescued me. Otherwise, I would have broken my bones. Do you know who she is? It's Lin Yan. Lin Yan. That pretentious B***TCH who loves to gain popularity. She's really nice in real life. Not only did she protect me with her body, but she even bought a plaster for me. In the end, she didn't even wait for me to thank her before she left. However, her assistant is so annoying. She kept nagging Lin Yan to mind her own business. Oh. She's so beautiful without makeup, okay? She's so pretty. It's a pity that I didn't take any photos. This little firework did not have many fans. There were only a few sporadic comments below, all of which were doubtful. Gentle breeze, hypocrite, it's just a publicity stunt. Wei Shufeng's little cutie replied, he must be pretending. Lin Yan typed, what a joke. Lin Yan is beautiful but kind? Are you afraid that you're Lin Yan's army? A little firework, actually, I was worried that it was an act at first, but if it was an act, there would have been someone taking photos at the time. The press release should have been out the next day, but there was never one, so it definitely wasn't an act. I don't think we can judge a person based on what we see on the surface. Such a helpful lady is definitely not the kind of person that the internet says. This little firework kept explaining, but no one listened to her. Instead, they all mocked and ridiculed her. Lin Yan finally recalled that something like that had happened. She loved listening to Wei Shufeng's songs. Lin Shia had gotten her assistant to give her a ticket to Wei Shufeng's concert so that she could relax. Naturally, she had gone without any qualms. Chapter 92. At the time, she hadn't known that Lin Shia had been the one who had secretly planned and bribed the reporters. Hence, she hadn't suspected anything about this ordinary Weibo post. If she hadn't seen this Weibo post, she would have forgotten that she had helped a fan. Lin Yan had read all the comments and watched as the little firework spoke up for her. An indescribable feeling welled up in her heart. This feeling of being trusted and protected, so she wasn't alone. So there were people who would work so hard to protect her. In the past, she hadn't really understood this profession. She had chosen it because of Han Yishuan. Even when she had decided to become serious, it had mostly been for the sake of making a living. However, at this moment, she had suddenly discovered the true meaning of this profession. Lin Yan called Wang Jingyang and asked him to buy some food for her. Then, she went into seclusion. Late at night, Lin Yan practiced her acting skills over and over again under the lights. She hadn't graduated from an acting school, nor had she gone through any professional training. She could only rely on her own ability to comprehend and conquer this new field. In the blink of an eye, a week had passed. Lin Yan had read all the professional books and read a lot of movies. She had practiced her acting skills over and over again. For a newbie who didn't know anything about acting, the most difficult part was getting used to the camera. In front of the camera, the awkwardness would be magnified 100 times. Fortunately, Lin Yan had been competing in competitions since she was 18. She had a strong mentality and was good at getting rid of external distractions. This wasn't a problem for her. Even under the gazes of tens of thousands of people, she could still remain calm and composed. This was her greatest strength. Hence, all she needed to do was to master her acting skills and understand the essence of the character she was portraying. She had learned a thing or two about the former after reading a lot of professional books. As for the latter, she had repeatedly watched the videos that Pei Yutong had sent her. She had tried to figure out his every move, every expression, and every tone of his voice. If she could perform 1/10 of his aura, she would be confident that she could control the image of a domineering female president. Lin Yen faced the mirror and practiced her gaze over and over again. Eventually, she felt as though she was going crazy. Phew. I'm exhausted. Let's take a break. Lin Yen slumped against the dresser, exhausted. Sure enough, it was not easy to imitate a domineering CEO. If one's own aura could not hold up, a slight carelessness would cause one to act very out of place and look very silly. As Lin Yen sighed, she seemed to have thought of something and froze. She suddenly realized that, ever since they had met at the mansion, he hadn't looked for her for a week. He hadn't looked for her for a week. Once Lin Yen focused on something, she would be so engrossed in it that she would forget about everything else. Recently, she had been working so hard that she had almost forgotten that she had a boyfriend. Holy shit. How could he forget about this ticking time bomb? What was Pei Yucheng trying to do? Although she was a straight woman, she had been in a relationship before. Under normal circumstances, as a couple, it was too abnormal for them to not even talk on the phone for so long, right? You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.